Hello. I am totally shocked that I am able to go live on here without having them disconnect my connection because that's what's been happening since October the 31st of 2020. Every time I push that button, they would disconnect it. So I know it's early, but if you've seen this question, what is the truth? The truth is something that we have been told for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. It's a certain narrative that we have been repeatedly told in textbooks, by word of mouth, um, things that have been passed down from generation and generation. The truth is something that you see on TV. The truth is something that you read in a book. See, this is what we've been taught. If we see it in a book, it's the truth. If we see it on TV, it's the truth. If we've been told this for hundreds of years, it's the truth. Okay, well, that's what our human mind thinks because it's been embedded. When we don't have the ability to question the truth that has been repeated, and it may not have even started off as the truth, when we don't question what has been repeated for hundreds of years, when the human mind doesn't, we are no longer unique, okay? We're not. We are then adhering to a certain train of thought that they want us to adhere to. You may say, who are they, Gina? They are the controllers, the certain spiritual realm that gets into these entities, controlling what we see, what we hear, what we read, what we think. Right now, we have a little bit of leeway as to make our own choices and believe what we want. But who's to say in the future we're not going to have that choice? Who's to say? I don't know at this point. I really don't. Because there's so much going on that we're seeing all around the world that we're hearing about. So much. It's either this way or it's that way. See, we have an option. We can think this one way or we can think this other way. See, they give us at least two options. Well, what about us thinking for ourselves, okay? Can I think for myself? Because that's exactly what I'm learning to do. I'm learning to think for myself. And I would encourage you to think for yourself and to question everything that you have been taught up to this point. Everything. Because it's not all the truth. You have to question, why do they want us to think a certain way? Why do they? Okay? Well, it's quite simple. It is the issue of control. If you control what is being pushed toward people, if you control what people read, if you control what people see, then you can control what people think. That's how the human mind can be manipulated. And it is true, and people will not question it. Okay, if they see it every single day of their life, hear about it every single day of their life, from generation to generation, then it's going to be accepted as the truth, and there you have your population control over the mindset of human beings, okay? We've got to think outside the box. We really do. We have to think outside the box, and we have to really question what is going on. Why are we being pitted against one another? Why are we being forced to think a certain way, either this way or that way? Why? That's the question, why. It's like, why were we taught the earth is round, the sun is round, the moon is round, the planets are round? Why? Or nothing can get close to the sun. It's so hot, it will burn up. You realize how long that's been taught? For hundreds of years. It's so hot, nothing could survive by the sun. There's no UFOs. They would get burnt up by the sun. The reason we think this way is because it's been repeated into the human mind over and over and over and over till it is accepted as the truth. But we've got to think outside the box. We've got to think for ourselves before the day comes and we are no longer are able to even have a choice as to how we think because our thinking will be controlled, okay, completely. And if you detour, if you go the other opposite direction, you're going to be out of here, okay? You are. So I think we need to question everything that we've been taught throughout the years, hundreds of years, thousands of years, because history has been hidden. It's been hidden, out of sight, out of mind. We'll just push this certain narrative. That is what it is. They push a certain narrative that they want you to buy into. And when you buy into that, then you have been more or less brainwashed, okay? You've been brainwashed, okay? Your mind's been being manipulated. That's a more nicer term. Your mind is being manipulated. Okay, there's a lot of manipulation going on, even to this very day, wherever you're at in any part of the world. Your mind is there's a great possibility. It, it is. It's being manipulated. Not everyone, but there are a whole lot of people who still believe what they're being told, what they're reading, what they're seeing, what they're hearing. They actually believe it. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't. They believe it because that's what they're being told, and because they've put their trust into the entities, and I mean organizations and stuff, who are telling them this. They have placed their trust into the hands of these organizations, which really are only a handful of individuals that have been overtaken. Okay, they are. So yeah, that's been on my mind this morning. I was sitting there. Why don't we question? Why don't we question the narrative? Why don't we question what we've been taught throughout the years, generation after generation? Why not? I think it's time we need to wake up, and I think we are waking up. Um, and you can't force someone to wake up who's not ready to wake up, and you can't force someone to wake up who will not wake up because they're just only going to get upset with you. But we need to start thinking outside the box. We need to question what is going on right now in this present time in this world, and why is it allowed to continue like it has? Why the repeat over and over and over? It's a vicious cycle that is happening to the human race. It is a sad game that's being played on humanity. It really is. We have a history. We have a history, okay? And it is our job to look within and see what that history is because we are spiritual beings. We really are. Uh, some of you may find yourself here on this earth right now and thinking, why am I here? Well, it's your time to be here. But you know, we've each got a part to play. We each got a role to play in what's going on in this world. And we can make a difference. We can. It starts on the inside of here. We can. And don't let the negativeness, okay, that's part of it. The part of the control is the negativeness that's being shoved into people. They hear it, then they repeat it, and that negativeness just grows and grows and grows. It's like, and then we repeat the negative, and we take on the negativeness that's being said and seen. It grows within us, okay, and it pushes out anything and everything else that could have been good for us, okay? It pushes out the negative when you adhere to a certain train of thought that's being shoved down your throat. Okay, it's not going to leave room for any personal growth within at all. You will not have personal growth within because you will have given into what they want you to give into. Okay, this may not make sense, but that's okay. And let me just say, hello, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. That's was just on my mind, and thank you for those comments. I will look at them later. But yeah, why are we being forced to think a certain way? Why? Why can't we think for ourselves? Why can't we question what has been put in front of us generation after generation? Why can't we? I think we can. And it needs to start with you. It needs to start with me. We need to start questioning and we need to start figuring out, okay, how can we change this? How can we change this? We can change it by shedding the light, by waking up people, and that's how we can do it. With that being said, I am going to go, and I am shocked that they let me on here, that I prayed before I got on here, you all. Yeah, everything we've been told, we need to question, I think, at this point. If you're someone who's waking up, you need to question, why do you believe the way that you believe? Who told you to believe that way? And when did you start believing this? You may say, well, my parents taught me, or that's what I was taught in school, or I saw it on the TV, or I read it in a book. Why? You need to question why, especially if it's starting to not settle right within your spirit. Okay. With that being said, I am going to go. Thank you all for being on here. Thank you.